Good day, my name is Nick and welcome to another episode of the Side Quest. And today's beer is called Florida Cracker by Cigar City Brewing. And just like the Neapolitan Stout from Untitled Art that I did with Bottle Logic, this beer is not fresh. This was actually brewed, according to the can, 10 to 19, meaning this beer is actually way before the pandemic. Not way before, but before the pandemic, back in 2019. This is over a year old, almost 2 years old at this point. The reason I picked it up is because I saw a Cigar City beer at my local mini mart and I didn't get to try any of their stuff when I was back in San Diego. I saw the Jai Alai, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, in supermarkets like a Whole Foods, but I never got a can because it's an IPA and I was just trying a whole bunch of other stuff, a whole bunch of other styles that I actually liked. But when I saw this, I grabbed a 6-pack, didn't think about it, didn't even check if they had like the canning dates on the box itself. I was just really happy. Or another reason I got it is because it's a Belgian-style white ale. And this one is actually brewed with coriander and orange peel. It is 15 IBUs, 5.5% ABV, and it is brewed by Cigar City in Tampa, Florida. Now, I think my last wit beer was the St. Bernardus Wit, which I loved. I think wit beers are like number 4, or maybe it's Belgian wits are number 4 on the brew quest so far. And it did really well. I really liked that style. It just tasted great. And when I saw that there was a Cigar City beer that was also a Belgian wit, I decided to pick it up. I think this is like number 134 on like Beer Advocate's hierarchy, and I've had both number 1 and number 2, the Allagash White and the St. Bernardus Wit. And so this has a lot to live up to. So hopefully it's good. I'm also not going to be overly critical because this is not fresh and this is my fault. I should have looked it up, but I still wanted to do it because I'm happy that I can find a wit beer here on Guam. If it's good, I mean, it's just probably a testament to Cigar City and the style of this beer. So let me open this up, pour this out, and hopefully it tastes great, and I'll be right back after the pour. But before we get to the beer, I forgot to talk about this beer as a whole. If you look on the outside of this can, probably sure you've seen like the 360, there's like a bunch of cows in here, and on the back it has like a blurb about what this beer is supposed to be for. Florida Cracker, actually. Like you would think cracker because white ale and like, you know, paleness of a cracker, but this is actually named for the early Florida cattle ranchers. They used to be called Cracker Cowboys because of the whip. But yeah, I forgot to talk about it. It looks pretty cool. Love the camera. But anyway, let's take a look at this beer. So at this point, the head is pretty much all gone. It's not the fault of the beer. Like I said in the beginning, this beer's almost 2 years old, so I'm not gonna really hold a lot against it. But yeah, there's the head's kind of gone, but there is still carbonation on the side. I can see bubbles rising up. The color of this beer is like a very pale yellow, pale straw yellow almost. Now there is like a little bit of orange that's coming through the center, but on the edges it's like a pale yellow, which is kind of what you expect in a wheat beer or a Belgian wit. The beer is also very opaque, and I can see some particles floating around in the beer, which is something I kind of expect from Belgian-style anything. Usually they re-ferment in the cans or the bottles, so I'm not surprised. Now that I started homebrewing, I deal with this a lot. I don't filter my beer, and I don't cold crash, so it's not clear at all, and I usually get beer that kind of looks like this, so this is not a problem for me. But the beer looks good. Let's hope it smells good. put a nose on it. Now I'm gonna go on a limb because I don't know what coriander smells like, but I'm getting like a very citrusy smell from this. I know Belgian yeast can sometimes impart citrus. It can impart like clove or banana, but I'm not getting any of that stuff. I'm kind of getting like a nice citrus. They did use orange peel, so that could be where that citrus component is coming from. There's like a slight sourness too, so I'm gonna kind of like attribute that smell to the orange peel that they use in this beer. But everything else kind of smells pretty good, kind of like a Belgian wit, to be honest. Yeah, it kind of has that Belgian yeast smell. Like I'm pretty sure if you had like the lighter beers, like it kind of smells like that Belgian blonde from Lost Abbey. It kind of smells like the Saint Bernardus, so kind of like in that area, not the heavy like the double or the quad or the triple. But yeah, it smells good. It smells like, almost like what I expected to. So it smells good. Let's hope it tastes good. Cheers. The first thing that I noticed is that the beer is not thick at all. Wasn't expecting it. It's very thin. Kind of goes like a really light beer, basically. Not thick at all. Carbonation's okay. I didn't think that it tasted flat or anything. There was a little bit of body to it. No bitterness at all. I'm not even getting like a residual bitterness like that I would get from hop, which makes sense because this beer is only 15 IBUs, which is great. I am getting like this very slight sourness across the tongue when I basically want to swallow the sips, and that could be due to the Belgian yeast. I'm not really too familiar on it because I haven't used Belgian yeast before in homebrewing, and also I don't drink a lot of Belgian stuff, so I can't really say if that's what it's from. Or it could be from the orange peel they use, it could be from the coriander. I still don't know what coriander tastes like, so I'm really sorry. I should have probably like smelled something or tasted something from some coriander before I did this. But it could be that orange peel that's coming across as like that sour note. But overall, it's not that bad. I am getting a slight maltiness too at the end, at the finish of the beer. My second sip, it's really reinforces it. Slight bitter, like a super slight bitterness in the beginning, followed by like a nice slight tartness, probably from the orange peel, and then finishes with a slight malty flavor. Is this like blowing up in my face? No. Is it like a really good sipper? Yes. And I would love to drink something like this, like ice cold, probably. In Guam, it's always hot. It's always a hot summer day here, unless it's rainy season. So this would be a great thing to just drink like outside while you're having a barbecue with friends. It's not heavy. It's not too complex where you're just gonna have to sit there and think about this beer. It just tastes good. It goes down really well and it goes down super easy. And that's probably why Belgian Wit is number 4 on my styles list right now. It's because it's great. It's everything you want in an easy to drink beer. And even at 5.5%, this is kind of a little bit higher than what I usually drink. I usually drink anywhere from like 4 to 5%. But that 0.5% may not be like a lot, but it's probably gonna sneak up on you after a couple of these. But yeah, the Florida Cracker, for it being almost 2 years old, it still tastes great, drinks great. And I hope they remake it and re-release it and I can get a can of it because it's awesome. But yeah, if you see this and you want a Belgian Wit, try the Florida Cracker. So, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like down below. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. At almost 2 years old, a Florida Cracker is still a good beer.